If you've got a parrot, you know the feeling. You're standing in the pet store, looking at a wall of food options, and it's confusing. You've got these colorful seed mixes that look so natural, and then you have these, well, plain-looking pellets. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to figure out what a truly healthy diet for a parrot actually looks like. Okay, let's get into it.
First things first, to really get what our birds need, we have to look at where they come from. Out in the wild, a parrot's life is basically a full-time job and a workout rolled into one. They spend most of their day flying, sometimes for miles, climbing, cracking open tough nuts, and searching for this huge variety of foods. It is a life of constant motion, fueled by a really diverse menu. And right here, this is the heart of the problem. There's this massive disconnect between their wild instincts and their life with us. A wild parrot is burning an incredible amount of calories just to find food and survive. But our pet parrots, their food shows up in a bowl, like a foot away from their perch. And this creates what we call an energy gap. That high-fat, high-energy food that a wild bird needs to survive, for our less active companions, it's a recipe for disaster. So you see, just trying to copy what they eat in the wild isn't just impractical, it's often the wrong move for our birds. And this is where so many of us, with the best intentions, make a really critical mistake, especially when it comes to that classic parrot food, the seed mix. Okay, so the number one problem with a big bowl of mixed seeds is a little thing called selective feeding. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You give a parrot a choice, and what do? They pick out all the yummy stuff, which are usually the seeds highest in fat, like sunflower seeds, and they just leave the rest. It's pretty much the same as a kid picking all the marshmallows out of their cereal and leaving all the healthy oats behind. And this is a perfect picture of what happens. See, the bag might say it's a balanced mix. But that's not what your bird is actually eating. Because of that selective feeding, they turn that balanced mix into a high-fat, low-nutrient meal. And that, of course, leads to some really serious nutritional gaps. And look, this isn't just an opinion. The science is crystal clear on this. It's not just a cute, quirky little behavior. It's a predictable path to bad health. The way a loose seed mix is designed pretty much guarantees this is going to happen, which, ironically, leads to the exact nutritional problems we're trying to prevent. And the consequences, well, they're really serious, and sadly, they're super common. We're talking about things like obesity, kidney disease, and fatty liver disease. We see major deficiencies in vitamins that are absolutely crucial, like vitamins A and D3, and calcium. And at the end of the day, a poor diet is one of the biggest reasons for a shorter lifespan in our birds. All right, so if that traditional seed mix is so flawed, what's the answer? How do we actually give them a balanced diet and beat that powerful instinct to just pick out the junk food? Well, the answer is in science. To find that answer, we just need to look at how much our understanding of bird nutrition has grown. We've really moved away from just trying to imitate the wild and shifted towards a foundation that's actually built on nutritional science. It's really been a journey, It all started with those basic seed mixes. Then we had this huge breakthrough. Formulated feeds, or pellets, were created specifically to solve that whole selective feeding problem. And over the years, they've gotten better and better, which brings us to where we are now. The current thinking is that the best approach is a combination, a scientifically formulated pellet as the base, supplemented with fresh foods for variety and fun. So what is a formulated feed, or a pellet? Well, think of it like this. All the good stuff, the grains, the vitamins, the minerals, it's all ground up, mixed together, and then cooked into one uniform little nugget. Because every single bite is identical, it's impossible for a bird to pick and choose. Every single bite delivers complete and balanced nutrition. Problem solved. And this is what we're talking about. I know, it might not look as exciting as a colorful seed mix, but from a nutritional point of view, this is the gold standard. This is how you provide a consistent, balanced foundation for your parrot's diet. Okay, but, and this is a really important but, while pellets solve the core nutrition problem, they are not the whole story. Not even close. A truly great diet is about more than just physical health. It's also about their mental well-being, about enrichment. And just a bowl of pellets by itself doesn't quite get you there. So let's build on that solid pellet foundation. Let's look at how we create a diet plan that is not only scientifically perfect, but also keeps your bird happy and engaged. A modern science-based plan, like the one we're looking at here from the Dietbird Guide, is super methodical. First, as you can see, you figure out your bird's specific daily calorie needs, what scientists call their net energy for maintenance. Then, you use pellets to meet those core needs. And from there, you start adding in the right amounts of vegetables, fruits, and other healthy foods. And this brings us to maybe the most important takeaway of all. There is absolutely no such thing as a one-size-fits-all parrot diet. The needs of a tiny cockatiel are worlds away from a giant macaw. A lory is totally different from an Amazon. You have to be precise. So let's really drill down on this by looking at a couple of birds with very special diets. This is where you can really see why a generic approach just doesn't cut it. I mean, just look at these two. It's night and day, right? On the left, you've got the Hyannis macaw. In the wild, they're specialists. They eat these incredibly hard palm nuts, so they need a diet that's much, much higher in fat than most other parrots. And then on the right, the Eclectus parrot. They're mainly frugivores, which means they're adapted to a diet packed with fruits and veggies, and very low in fat. You just can't feed these two birds the same food. Let's break down the numbers for the hyacinth. For them, formulated pellets might only make up about 35% of their diet. A huge 30% needs to be high-fat nuts and seeds to fuel their unique metabolism. Then you round it out with veggies and a little bit of fruit. Now, let's flip over to the Eclectus. Wow, what a difference. The pellets make up a similar chunk, about 40%, but look at the rest. Nuts and seeds are almost non-existent. Instead, fresh vegetables and fruits make up more than half of everything they eat. It's a completely different nutritional blueprint built for their specific biology. Okay, so we've looked at the problems, we've looked at the science. Let's bring it all home. Let's talk about the key things you need to remember to build a perfect modern diet for your parrot. First, you have to understand just how high the stakes are. Get this. Some estimates suggest that a staggering 60 to 70% of all medical problems in pet parrots are linked back to a bad diet. That is a huge number, and it just goes to show how much direct control we have over our bird's health and happiness. So, here's the game plan. The modern parrot diet is all about a smart mix. You start with a high-quality pellet as your foundation. That's non-negotiable. From there, you supplement with a precise amount of fresh vegetables, fruits, and healthy seeds or nuts. And you absolutely must tailor those amounts to your bird's specific species. And finally, use that food as a tool for enrichment. Make them work for it. Let them forage. It's fantastic for their mental health. In the end, it really all comes down to this one simple question. The food you give your parrot is the single most important foundation for its entire life. So you have to ask yourself, is that foundation built on solid science that's tailored to your bird's needs? Or is it built on old habits, convenience, and just chance? The choice you make, well, it makes all the difference in the world.